taking the upper hand in this current set. Paradox with a slightly awkward field to clean down, though he's managed to do it. Larry with a quick T-spin double thrown in. Breaks his combo for a T-spin single. Could have potentially kept it going a little bit longer. It's pretty good clear, going up for the T-spin triple, and that almost spikes Paradox over the top. Yeah, it does. Larry takes that. Lines per minute, sorry, APM of 115 for Larry, and Paradox actually with the higher APM of 141, but clearly not able to downstack quite as effectively. And that begins to even this game up. Currently, Paradox is winning 6 games to 5. Ooh, missed drop there from Larry. He might struggle to clear this before Paradox can send him anything. And he does. That is 7-5 to Paradox. Really not the sort of misdrops you can afford to make at the top of the stack. So Larry with T-spin double opener follows up with a second T-spin double. Paradox had missed up slightly in his stack, and he's conceded some early pressure here, and he's pushed right up against the top. Larry sending a T-spin single, follows up with a 3 combo, and that's enough to push Paradox over the edge. Takes the game to 7-6. Quite a close matchup. Like the last 2 sets, both decided by errors from each player more than improvements. Larry going for some 180-degree spin T-spins, I think they were. T-spin double followed up very quickly by a Tetris. Looks to be lining up another Tetris, and he does. Really high APM style from both players. T-spin single, followed by presumably the double clear, and then another single, and perhaps a combo from Larry. I don't know, because the stream is lagged. I'll probably disconnect again. And he does indeed win that set. So tying the matchup at 7-7. Ooh, Larry with a misdrop there, although it shouldn't give him too much trouble. Quite quick to fix, although it has sort of bought Paradox some time to really put pressure on him. Larry's still not completely clear of the top of his screen yet. Gets a T-spin double away though, able to follow it up with Tetris, abandoning the second T-spin double he could have potentially got out of that. He just completely bailed on the setup, instead just going for clearing down. Probably the wiser strategy in the position he was in. Now just sort of looking to downstack, get himself some breathing space. Nice T-spin double there and setup. Good strong combo there from Larry. 8 combo, 9 combo, pushes Paradox right to the top and wins the set, taking it to 8-7. So for the first time since we've been watching, Larry now taking the lead. Small misdrop there, but fixes it well with the 180 spin. And Larry, Paradox looking a little bit more hesitant now. A bit unlucky there with the way the garbage tended to come out. He was at the bottom and chose to stack on the right, and just as he did that, the garbage came up with the hole on that side. Sort of the opposite of lucky hole, being put under a little bit of pressure now by Larry. He's about to line up a T-spin double the moment he gets a T-piece though. Had to stall for a bit and then isn't able to keep the combo chained. So Paradox able to find some space to clear down some really nasty trilled garbage there for Larry. Clears it quite brilliantly actually with a T-spin double. Just holding on. I thought he was done for there, but had just enough to keep himself alive. and now launches a counter attack on Paradox. Is forced to stall a little bit, runs out of momentum. Keeps it going. Are in the sort of mid-game equilibrium now. Both players sort of fairly near the bottom, sticking fairly low, but neither player really has enough garbage to chain any large combos together and spike the other player. It's mostly just sort of fairly small individual clears. Neither player being able to break the deadlock and send the other one near to the top under some pressure, although Paradox looks like he's starting to get quite high now. Should be able to clear it, though the pieces were a bit awkward for him. He had a good 180 spin. T-spin triple there from Larry. Paradox finds himself back at the bottom. Quite a nasty misdrop with a T-piece there. Didn't completely ruin his stack, but it's forced him to waste a bit of time. But in the meantime, Larry on his side had a T-spin setup that he misdropped over and could have potentially had two doubles or a triple in there, but instead had to settle with just being able to keep his stack going. No impressive clears coming out. Some nice comboing from Larry. Just about have enough time before Paradox can send anything to get his stack down a little bit. Good small combos there, just maintaining a little bit of aggression while he clears down. Oh, really good 5 combo from there. That's going to push Paradox up. And as we get the hurry up garbage, both players slowly getting to the top. Paradox with a horrific placement over the garbage line. That was really unlucky. Slight discussions from mild discussion from the two players there. Zeno Slash has beaten Aaron 12-10 in that other match, as we're in potentially the final set here if Larry can win it. So Zeno Slash going through to the semi-finals. We'll play the winner from Agamemnon and Pip. Mind a bit of lag on my end there as Challenge submits the result. Both players sort of going through fairly niggly downstacking reasonably small clears. Larry getting a T-spin double away there. Getting a Tetris. About to spike Paradox. Paradox is right at the top, and that is the game to Larry. That is 10-7 over Paradox. and that will take him through to the semi-finals to play the winner of Dartuk and Nando even. Okay, so the game we'll get into on this next one, we will go for Pip versus Agamemnon, or Aga as I will refer to him because his name is an absolute freaking mouthful. Okay, so Aga currently leading 8-6 in this match. Pip quite a strong player. One I've not actually seen unless he's using an alias. Agamemnon push right to the top here. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on. He just about does, but not quite. And that is 8-7. Agamemnon with a slightly awkward aborted T-spin there. Pip with the misdrop on the right. I think if Agamemnon can get a few decent clears here, he'll be able to push him over the top. Pip just about clinging on, but Agamemnon with a second Tetris, and that one brings the game to 9-7. It is match point. Agamemnon at the top, but at the moment, with some quite straight garbage, he could be able to send a pretty aggressive spike there to Pip. If he can chain it all together, and he does, that is the game to Agamemnon. It is 10-7. Winning with that spike there. And that will take him through to his semi-final against Xenoslash. Whoops. God damn it. Didn't select a winner. Okay. So we will go to the fourth second round game, which is Dartuk versus Nando. Nando currently winning 7-4 in this matchup. So Nando here pushed up to the top with a fair bit to clean through, but Dartuk sort of struggling for ideas at the bottom, not really having anything to send. The pace in this game being somewhat slower than some of the other second round matches.